This is a fictional story for entertainment. Any resemblance to real persons or events is coincidental. Last week, I didn't argue. I let 3 packets sit in my palm and watched my husband smile like it was nothing. They were sealed, small, and they did not belong in my husband's car. Tonight, I found something wetter. At 62, I had learned that panic never protects what you built. The towel was folded tight in the same car door pocket, heavy with water as if it had been wrung out in a hurry. It carried a faint chlorine-and-lotion smell. A single pale grain of sand clung to the hem, out of place in February. A long, dark hair that wasn't mine was caught in the laundry tag. I held the towel under the garage light, and a thin slip of paper slid free and fluttered to the concrete. The receipt wasn't just a receipt. It had the time, the location, and the last 4 digits. out.A.M. Midtown Wellness Desk card, XXXX, 1842, a spa desk. The kind of place you pay for in the dark, then come home with a story. My watch read 11:57 p.m. It meant my husband had been somewhere else less than an hour earlier and he had paid for it. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't even breathe hard. I took a photo with the receipt and my fingers in frame, then slid it into my coat pocket like it was a small, sharp truth. At 12:03 a.m., Jake came out of the elevator with his usual easy smile, smelling like winter air and something that wasn't our home. "Long day?" he asked. "Normal," I said. He kissed my cheek, and I watched his eyes flick toward the car keys on the console. A man checking whether the door he used was still open. By 12:19 a.m., I was in the bathroom, washing my hands as if I could rinse off a fact. At 2:13 a.m., my phone lit up. A text. From my sister. "Sabrina, are you awake?" The message wasn't to me, it was a screenshot. The name at the top of the screen was Jake. The timestamp glowed like a small accusation. 2:13 a.m., and the text bubble from Sabrina said, "Call me now. Don't answer her." My throat tightened but my mind stayed clear. I didn't confront, I verified. By 7:18 a.m., the kitchen felt too quiet, like a museum where someone had stolen the most valuable thing and left the frames on the walls. Jake stood at the counter with his phone face down, cracking eggs as if breakfast could repair a timeline. "Did you sleep?" he asked. "I did," I said. He smiled and it didn't reach his eyes. "You're up early," he added, too casual. "I had paperwork," I said. His hand twitched toward the phone, small, automatic, like blinking. "You're always doing paperwork," he said. "Maybe that's why you seem tense." Tense. The word men use when they want a woman to apologize for noticing. I poured coffee slowly and watched him watch me. His phone buzzed once. He checked it and set it face down again. "Work," he said. "At 7 in the morning?" I asked. He shrugged. "Global clients." I nodded, as if that made sense. As if Midtown Wellness Desk at 2:06 a.m. was part of the global economy. When he left the kitchen, I opened my laptop and logged into our shared card dashboard. The charge was there, clean as a confession. $18.42 says Wellness Desk Midtown. 1842. The last 4 digits on the receipt. The universe had a dry sense of humor. Around 8:28 a.m., I called Renee Adler, the business manager who handled my studio finances and always spoke like she had already run the numbers. "I need you to look at something," I said. "Send it," she replied. I didn't tell her about towels or texts. I sent the receipt photo, the dashboard charge, and the 2:13 screenshot. 2 minutes later, she called back. "This isn't random," she said. "It's patterned." "What do you mean?" I asked. "The charge amount matches the last 4 digits," she said. 1842. That's not an accident, and this isn't their first try at touching your accounts. My coffee went cold. "They've tried before?" I asked. Renee's pause was the kind that meant yes. "Something small," she said. "A contact update request on your retirement portal. It didn't go through, but it shows intent." Retirement portal. I stared at my kitchen window, the city beyond it, and felt a new kind of fear, not about love, but about access. By 9:01 a.m., I had written 1 sentence on a legal pad. No drama, just proof. Then paperwork. At 4:06 p.m., I opened the passenger door and went straight for the pocket. Same pocket, different paper. The garage ticket was folded into a tight square, like someone thought small meant invisible. Entry, 2:18 a.m., downtown Garage Lane 3. I held it under the light. The timestamp sat there, stubborn and clean. Jake had told me he'd been driving around to clear his head. Apparently his head needed a downtown garage at 2:18 in the morning. I took one photo of the ticket beside my watch, so the time on my wrist matched the time on the paper. Then I slid it into my plain envelope, the one labeled time, behind the 213 code printout. By 4:12, I opened the trunk. The gym bag was still there, zipped wrong, too tight, too hurried. Under it, the same white towel, now almost dry, still faintly smelling like chlorine. I didn't touch it. I'd already bagged one towel. I didn't need a collection. I shut the trunk and went upstairs. By 4:28, Renee called. "The pattern's louder today," she said. "2 more $18.42 charges in the last 10 days, and the parking line matches this garage, same hour window, same rhythm." I looked at the 1842 receipt on my counter and felt that cold clarity settle in again. "So he wasn't just texting at 2:13, I said. "He was moving." "Yes," Renee said. "And last night someone tried to add a new contact point to your retirement account. It didn't go through, but it left a trail." My stomach tightened. "In my name? In your space," she said. "Not completed. That matters. When they can't reach the retirement money, they start eyeing other doors. Your condo papers, your family trust." While she spoke, my phone buzzed. "Jake, hey, quick question. Did you take my car out today?" I let it sit. Silence is useful. Guilty people fill it. He sent another message at 4:41. "I can't find my parking slip." "Probably fine." I typed back, "Didn't touch it." A pause. Then, "Okay, just checking, like I was the suspicious one." Just after 5:06, Lauren Carter met me in the lobby, not her office. She wanted air, not walls. I handed her the photo of the garage ticket. I showed her the repeating $18.42 charges, the 213 code request. The notary invite Jake had tried to spring on me. Lauren's expression didn't change much. It got sharper. "This confirms he lied about where he was," she said, "and it supports what we already suspected. He's testing what he can touch." "What do we do next?" I asked. "We keep closing doors," she said, "and we keep a clean record of every attempt, no speeches, no scenes." I almost smiled. That was my language. I nodded once. He couldn't get the notary to proceed without me. Yet now he's hunting for paper in the car. Lauren watched my face. "When easy paths close, people get bold," she said. "Expect another angle within 48 hours. By 5:44, as I stepped back into my condo, an unknown number rang twice, then stopped. A text followed. "No name. Need you to talk. Tonight." I didn't have to guess. By 6:02, Sabrina's name finally appeared. "Sabrina? Can we meet? Just us, please." My hand stayed steady as I set the phone face down. I went to my studio room and looked at a half-finished canvas. Soft blues, calm horizon. The kind of piece I used to paint when family still sounded safe. I pulled out a fresh notepad and wrote one sentence. "Bring the envelope." Around 7 p.m. I wasn't meeting my sister for comfort. I was meeting her for timestamps. I was meeting her for time, place, and paper, because paper never shrugs. It says what happened. Just after 6:58 p.m., I set a plain envelope on the cafe table and kept my hands on either side of it as if it might try to run. "Time," the front said. Inside, a receipt stamped 02:00 with XXXX 1842, a garage ticket marked 218, and a printed confirmation showing a code requested at 213. 3 small pieces of paper that agreed with each other more faithfully than my husband had. I didn't pull them out. I just let the envelope sit there like a closed door. Sabrina arrived at 7:04 with a careful smile and the perfume of good intentions. She sat across from me and took my hands like we were about to pray. "Helen," she said, soft, "please don't do anything rash." I blinked once. "This is paperwork." Her eyes flicked to the envelope. "Jake said you've been upset." "Jake says a lot," I replied. Sabrina's voice dropped. "He's scared. He thinks you're going to destroy him." "Over a towel?" I asked. "Or over numbers?" Her face twitched at numbers, too quick to be innocent. She tried to laugh. "It's probably nothing." There it was. Jake's phrase wearing my sister's mouth. I opened notes on my phone, wrote down her exact words, and folded my hands in my lap. Sabrina hurried on. "We were trying to help you. You handle everything alone. Your studio, your money, the condo." "My condo," I repeated, mild. She nodded. "And the retirement account. It's complicated. Jake thought he should be listed as a contact or beneficiary, just so things are settled." "Settled," I echoed. "At 2:13 a.m. Her mouth opened. "That text. Don't, I cut in, calm. Pick a new hour. Sabrina looked down at her cup. He loves you. He just feels shut out. He feels entitled, I said. She swallowed. He's worried about what happens if something happens to you. What happens, I said, is my lawyer reads my documents, not my husband and my sister after midnight. It wasn't midnight, Sabrina blurted. I went still. No? Color drained from her face. I tilted my head. Then what time was it? I don't know, she said quickly. I waited. Silence is where people stop acting. It was after 2, she whispered. I nodded once like I was confirming a delivery. And the last 4 digits? Her eyes widened. Helen, the last 4, I repeated. Her lips moved before she could stop them. 1842. Perfect. I slid the receipt halfway out of the envelope so she could see the XXXX 1842 at the bottom. You answered, I said softly, without seeing it. Sabrina covered her mouth. It was just small charges, she whispered. 1842. He said you wouldn't notice, just until he could get the condo paperwork signed. He said it was routine. He said you'd calm down if I talked to you. Family, her favorite word. Tonight it sounded like a tool. My phone buzzed once. A message from Renee, notary appointment canceled. They asked for you. They didn't get you. A small win, quiet and clean. I looked at Sabrina. Paperwork is harder when the owner shows up. She reached for my sleeve. Please, don't ruin him. I leaned in. He tried doors that weren't his. By 7:43 I stood. No scene, just the chair sliding back. Tomorrow at 9, I said, I'm signing papers that protect what I built, and you're gonna send me every message you've ever deleted. Sabrina stared at the envelope like time had finally started speaking. I walked out into the cold with it warm against my palm. My hands didn't shake. My throat did once, and then it stopped. I'd spent years building a life. I could spend a few weeks defending it. Decided. Around 8:57 am, I slid my plain envelope across Lauren Carter's desk. It didn't look like much. No diamonds, no drama, just paper and time. Lauren opened it and laid the pieces out in a neat line. The 206 receipt with card ending in 1842, the 218 garage ticket, the printed 213 code request, and my screenshot of Sabrina's message. Same night, she said. Same rhythm. I nodded, and the same car door pocket. Lauren didn't smile, but her eyes did that lawyer thing. Sharp, quiet, already moving 3 steps ahead. Today we make sure nothing changes unless you are physically present to approve it, she said. No surprises, no housekeeping. Just after 9:14 she placed 2 signature lines in front of me. I signed without trembling. Not because I felt brave, because I felt tired of being tested. When I stood to leave, Lauren said, He'll try to get you alone. He'll try to make you feel guilty. Don't argue. Let him talk. I walked outside into cold air that smelled like street salt and honesty. By 10:06, Renee texted, retirement account flagged, attempt logged, extra verification added, attempt logged. I read that twice, the way you reread a sentence that finally proves you weren't imagining anything. Around 12:22 p.m., Jake called. I let it ring once, then answered. Hey, he said, voice soft. Can we reset? I hate how tense you've been. Tense, I repeated. That's one word. He exhaled like I'd wounded him. I booked us a private spa session tonight, just to breathe. No fights. A spa, of course. I pictured the damp towel, the chlorine, the sand grain that didn't belong in February. What time? I asked. 7, he said quickly. I already paid the deposit. Send the address, I said. His relief came through the phone. Thank you, seriously, thank you. When I hung up, I didn't feel grateful. I felt organized. Just after 6:41 p.m., I opened notes on my phone and walked into a quiet spa lobby that smelled exactly like my evidence. Jake stood near the desk, phone in hand, smiling too brightly. There she is, he said, my favorite person. I looked at the front counter, a small sign, neutral, no brand names. Just a polished room designed to make people stop asking questions. The attendant asked for the card used for the deposit. Jake handed over a card too fast. The attendant frowned politely. I'm sorry, this card doesn't match the name on the reservation. Jake's smile froze, a tiny crack. It's my wife, he said. Same household, it's fine. The attendant stayed kind. We just need the account holder to confirm. Jake turned to me, eyes pleading and sharp at the same time. Babe, just tell her it's okay. I tilted my head. Which card? His jaw flexed. The one ending in, he started, then stopped himself. I waited. The lobby was quiet enough to hear his pride fighting his panic. He leaned closer and lowered his voice. Helen, please. It's a small charge. 1842. It's nothing. There it was. Not his usual dismissal. Just nothing. And he'd said the number out loud like it was a nickname. The attendant blinked. Sir? Jake snapped back into his public face. Sorry, we'll handle it. I looked at him. You mean you'll handle it at 2:13 a.m? His eyes widened, one heartbeat of pure fear. Then he did what he always did when the floor shifted under him. He reached for his phone. Fast. Turned away. Thumb moving. I watched the same routine repeat like a song he couldn't stop playing. The attendant cleared her throat. Without confirmation, we can't proceed. Jake's voice sharpened. Are you serious? Policy, she said, still polite. Policy. Paper. The quiet kind of power Jake couldn't flirt his way around. I picked up my purse. It's fine. If I told the attendant, cancel it. Jake spun toward me. What are you doing? I'm doing what you said, I replied, calm. No fights. His mouth opened, then closed. He looked around, realizing he had nowhere to perform. By 7:18 p.m., we stepped back out into the cold. Jake's hand hovered near my elbow like he still believed he could steer me. Please, he said, don't blow up our life over a towel. I didn't look at him. I'm not, I said. I'm protecting it from you. By 7:26, I noted it down immediately and sent Lauren and Renee one line. He said the number. Tomorrow morning, I had another appointment. Not at a spa. Around the place where my family money was kept and where no one got in by whispering after midnight. Just after 8:08 a.m., the elevator in my building smelled like someone else's cologne and someone else's choices. I had slept 3 hours. Not because I was spiraling, because I was organizing. By 8:20, I was sitting in a quiet office with frosted glass and neutral art across from a trust administrator named Mr. Landry. He looked the way careful people look, polite, precise, impossible to charm. Lauren Carter had already sent him a short note. Renee had already flagged the patterns. I had brought my envelope. I slid one page forward first, not the towel, not the receipt, the cleanest proof. A printed request timestamped 2:13 a.m. Mr. Landry adjusted his glasses. This came through our portal? He asked. In my name, I said. Not my handwriting, not my hour. He didn't argue. He didn't comfort me. He simply turned the paper and pointed to a line. Here, he said. An attempted update to contact information and an inquiry about distribution procedures. It wasn't completed. Because I didn't approve it, I said. He nodded once, like a man who respected locked doors. By 8:39, he opened a file on his screen and read quietly for a moment. There have also been 2 calls in the last week, he said, asking about your trust, your condo ownership structure, and what documentation is required for changes. From who? I asked. I can't share names without a formal process, he said carefully. But the caller described themselves as family. Family. My favorite word for 30 years, my least favorite word this month. I opened my envelope and laid down the receipt with card ending in 1842, the garage ticket marked 218, and the screenshot of Sabrina's 213 message. Mr. Landry's expression tightened in the smallest way. This is a pattern, he said. Yes, I replied, and it's not romance. By 9:02, he slid a single page toward me. We can place additional safeguards, he said. It means no requests are processed without a direct verification from you and your attorney. I signed. Not with anger. With precision. Around 9:18, my phone vibrated once in my bag. I didn't look yet. I finished what I came to finish. Mr. Landry folded the paper and said, if anyone tries again, it will be documented, and we can initiate a review. Documented. That word felt like oxygen. By 9:27, I stepped outside and finally checked my phone. We need to talk. You're taking this too far. 2 minutes later. Jay, you with Lauren again? And then, like they were rehearsing a duet. Jake is panicking. Please be kind. Kind. As if kindness meant leaving my doors unlocked for thieves. Just after 9:41, I texted Renee. Done. Trust is locked. She replied within seconds. Good. Now watch your condo. By 10:06, my building manager called. Miss Monroe, he said. There's a man downstairs asking for access to your storage unit, says he's your husband. My stomach went cold in a new way. No, I said calmly. He is not authorized. The manager hesitated. He mentioned paperwork, something about your deed. Paperwork, again. By 10:09 I called Lauren. She didn't sound surprised. He's switching targets, she said. When one door closes, they try the next. Around 10:22 I arrived back at my building. Jake was in the lobby, smiling at the manager like he was auditioning for Harmless. "Hey," he said brightly. "I was just trying to grab some old files, for taxes." "From my storage?" I asked. He laughed. "It's our storage." "No," I corrected, still calm. "It's mine." His smile wavered. "Helen, why are you doing this? You're making everything complicated." "I'm making it accurate," I said. His eyes narrowed. "Sabrina told you things. She's emotional." I looked at him for a long beat. "Sabrina didn't tell me," I said. "You did." He blinked. "You said the number," I added softly. "At the front desk." For a second he looked truly afraid, like a man realizing his own mouth had been a witness. Just after 10:31, he reached for his phone, fast, turning away, the same ritual. I watched him with a strange calm, because now I had something stronger than suspicion. I had institutions. And paper. By 6:41 p.m., my studio smelled like oil paint and black coffee, two honest things. I taped one page inside the cabinet. 10:06 a.m., Jake Collins' spouse requested access to Miss Monroe's storage. Access denied. No feelings, just time. By 6:58, I set my time envelope on the work table. Receipt 206 card ending in 1842, garage ticket 218, the 213 code request and my screenshot. I didn't open it. I opened a fresh page in my notebook and let the room speak for itself. Renee Adler and Lauren Carter stood on my left like quiet guardrails. Sabrina arrived at 7-Eleven, smiling too carefully. The ends of her hair still carried that pool-clean smell she'd blamed on hot yoga. She saw Lauren and went still. Jake walked in at 7:18 with his phone already in his hand, screen down. Same habit. Same hiding place. Same man who'd waved it off last week while 3 packets sat in my palm. "You okay?" he asked, soft. "I'm clear," I said. Lauren kept it simple. "Mr. Collins, we're confirming what you're authorized to access." Jake tried to laugh. "I'm her husband." Renee slid a single sheet across the table, 3 small charges, all 1842, lined up like steps. Jake's eyes flicked once. He didn't read, he recognized. "Probably nothing," he said fast. Sabrina echoed him, automatic. "It's fine." I spoke quietly. "You said the number out loud, at the spa desk." Jake's throat moved. "Helen." "Go on," I said, still gentle. "Say it again." His jaw flexed. "It was 1842, it's..." He stopped, realizing he'd just handed me another nail. "And Sabrina said it last night," I added, looking at my sister. Without seeing the paper. Sabrina's face strained. Her hand went to her cup like she needed something to hold. Jake turned his body away and started tapping at his phone like a lock could undo a sentence. I watched the same motion I'd seen at 2:13, at breakfast, at the spa. Tap, turn, hide. Lauren placed her envelope on the table. "These notices explain what has been secured, and what access has ended." Jake's smile cracked. "You're upset. You're imagining things." I opened the cabinet door and let him see the building manager's note. His eyes caught on 10:06 a.m., the exact hour he'd tried my storage. "That wasn't love," I said. "That was a hand on a lock." He swallowed. "Tax files." Renee's voice stayed level. "The building has been notified. Your fob won't work." Jake lifted his keys like a protest. "That's ridiculous." "Try it," I said. He didn't. That hesitation, him stuck between a lie and a door, was my small win. Around 7:41, his phone buzzed. He glanced down, jaw tightening. Something small had been declined. Not enough to destroy him, enough to spook him. He looked up, anger searching for a place to land. "You're punishing me. I'm protecting myself," I said. "There's a difference." Lauren held out her hand. "Keys." Jake stared at her, then at me. For a moment he looked young enough to believe charm was armor. By 7:49 he dropped the keys onto my table. Metal on wood. Final. Sabrina made a small sound. I didn't reach for her. Comfort comes after truth. Under the table, I texted her one line. "Send me everything you deleted." I looked at Jake. "Sleep somewhere else tonight." He opened his mouth, closed it, then walked out, because paper had taken the room and he had no lines left. Just after 7:56, Lauren texted me 2 sentences that felt like a lock turning. "The notary appointment is canceled. No condo paperwork moves without you in person." By 7:58, another message followed. "Your building has been notified. His access is revoked today. If he tries again, it will be logged." I did not celebrate, I just exhaled, slow. The first door was closed. By 8:06, Renee's next message arrived. A new request is sitting on your retirement account. Different angle. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., I had one appointment, not for revenge. For the door they still kept trying to touch. Around 8:33 a.m., Renee sent me a screenshot that made my coffee taste like metal. A new request sat on my retirement account, not completed, not approved, just waiting like a hand on a doorknob. Created 2:13 a.m. Of course it was. Renee's text was simple. He's back at the door. I didn't answer Jake. I didn't answer Sabrina. I put on my coat, picked up my time envelope, and went where truth lives best, behind a desk with rules. By 8:57, I was in Lauren Carter's office, my envelope between us like a closed fist. Lauren read the screenshot, then looked up. "We go now," she said. "They need you in person." Just after 9:18, we were sitting in a small conference room with frosted glass and a bowl of mints no one touched. A representative named Miss Porter slid a printout across the table. "This was started overnight," she said. "It asked to change contact information and add a payment destination. It stopped because your account requires extra confirmation." I stared at the page. Plain. Boring. Deadly. Right there in the corner. 2:13 a.m. Miss Porter tapped a second sheet. "We also received a phone call at 2:16, she said carefully. "Someone tried to confirm the change. The caller claimed to be you." My throat tightened. And the voice was not you," she said. Renee let out one dry breath. "Well," she murmured, "at least he's consistent." Lauren's voice stayed calm. "Can you document the attempt?" "It's already documented," Miss Porter said. "If you want, we can open a formal review, and we can lock this down so any future requests require you and your attorney in person." "Open it," I said. "And lock it." By 9:36, Miss Porter asked me to confirm, face-to-face, that I had not requested any changes and that no one else had permission to do so. I answered in short sentences. Clear sentences. The kind that don't leave room for vague excuses. By 9:49, my phone buzzed once. "Sabrina. Sabrina, I sent you everything. Please don't hate me." A file arrived, screenshots time-stamped, a chain of messages that felt like stepping on glass. "Jake, text me at 2:13. If she sees it, act worried. Use probably nothing. The spa charge is tiny, $18.42, she won't notice. If notary doesn't work, try the retirement contact update. This feels wrong, it's just paperwork. Family helps family, family. The word she loved, the word he used like a crowbar. My eyes watered once. Not loud, not pretty. Just one quick betrayal of my control. I wiped it away and forwarded the screenshots to Lauren without a single extra word. Around 10:11, Miss Porter returned with a security investigator. He introduced himself, professional and dry. "We'll need a statement," he said, "and we may contact the individual who made the call." "Contact him," I said. By 10:24, as we stood to leave, Lauren's phone rang. She listened, then glanced at me. "Your building manager," she said. "Jake came by again, asked for access like he owned the place. He was denied." I didn't smile, I just felt my spine straighten. Paper was doing what screaming never could. Just after 11:03, back in my condo, I placed the time envelope on the table and added Sabrina's screenshots. Then I wrote a new label on a fresh envelope, retirement. By 11:14, Jake texted, "Can we talk? You're taking this too far." I didn't reply. Because at 11:26, an email landed in my inbox from the retirement office. Plain language, no drama. Attempted beneficiary change, pending review. Under it, in small black type, was the only detail I needed to keep breathing steady. Requested, 2:13 a.m. Before noon, Lauren sent me a one-page notice with my name at the top and Jake's beneath it. No threats, no adjectives, just boundaries in black ink. It stated, plainly, that he was no longer authorized to access my condo, my storage, or any accounts tied to my LLC. Any communication would go through counsel. Any attempt to use my identity, my keys, or my signatures would be treated as a documented incident, not a misunderstanding. I watched the building manager scan it, nod once, and file it like a weather report. Jake could argue with me. He could not argue with a written policy on letterhead. By 12:17, Miss Porter emailed a calendar invite. Security review interview, required. Jake's name was on it, not mine. After the email, I didn't do anything dramatic. I washed one cup in my sink, just one because it felt important to touch something clean. The city kept moving outside my windows, indifferent and steady, the way I needed to be. On my table, the proof sat like quiet weights. Time. Retirement. Plain envelopes, plain labels, the kind of truth that doesn't raise its voice. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel like I had to chase anyone. I didn't need to. The record existed. The doors had names now, and the names had locks. I went into my studio and stood in front of the canvas I'd been avoiding. I added a thin line of light to the horizon, soft, stubborn, undeniable. Not forgiveness, not revenge, just myself returning. My phone stayed face down, then it buzzed once. A new alert, a different kind of paper. I didn't open it right away. I made tea first. I let my shoulders drop. I let the silence feel like mine again. And only then, when my hands were steady, I turned the screen toward the lamp and read the subject line the way you read a verdict. Solo 401k, beneficiary change request pending review. Requested 2:13 a.m. I didn't whisper his name. I didn't call my sister. I reached for a fresh envelope, wrote one word on the front, and slid the printout inside. Retirement. Because the next proof wasn't in his car, it was in my future.